Okay, so make sure I'm in the right seating position and then recenter my screen. So, Microsoft Studios, Asabo Studios, they did their big announcement for the 40th anniversary edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, a ton of people have already probably done videos and whatnot about that. I know I watched Obsidian Ant's video about it. But one of the things that they announced, is really cool, is they announced the Pelican from Halo, from the Halo game series, is available for free today as of recording this. And this is what today is. Oh, I don't even know what day of the week it is. It is Sunday, June 12th. It's absolutely free. It's a pretty well-detailed model. This specific version is the civilian, I say that in quotation marks, civilian version of the Pelican. So it doesn't have any of the weapons, although it does have all the hard points. You can see the wing-mounted missile racks right there. And it doesn't have the same performance as the military version, which, you know, I can understand that maybe they didn't want to push the game engine too far with, you know, something super powerful going super high altitude, since this ship could fly all the way to the moon. It has the fuel capacity to do that. I don't believe, at least in the deeper lore Halo, I don't believe they had I'm having a hard time talking today. Not frame shift, slip space drives. They didn't have slip space drives, so you wouldn't be able to go super far. But this is really well modeled here. I'm gonna just grab my VR controllers. I got one in one hand and here's the other one. So when you're in the seat, you're actually sitting in the left seat. There's a couple little bits of functionality. You have right here, you have your battery switch, alternator, and master avionics. Button right here, that's your landing gear button. And then this right here switches between hover mode and level flight mode. You have your main screen here, and I'm just gonna, my camera, about, use the arrow keys to put a line up. So you have your main MDF right here, and you have three different toggles here. You have map view, synthetic vision, and then camera view. The camera does work. It doesn't work when you're on the ground because the camera's obviously staring at the ground. But when you do have the camera on, you can adjust the camera angle, and it's either pointing, you know, level or straight down or any angle between there. And then all of these switches are inoperative. These obviously be weapon controls. Parking brake switches right here. This is another possible weapon control switch. These would all be additional push buttons that just don't function. If you're familiar with flying in DCS, they're the same kind of things you'd have around like your F-18 or your A-10. Those are only two fighter jets I've flown that have digital displays, but those would be your MFD display buttons. Engine anti-ice, pitot heat, windshield de-ice right here, and then all of these switches here are inoperative, except for this one here does open and close the cargo bay, and the cargo bay is modeled. Take a look at that in a minute. Right here you've got your center console, and this knob right here controls your dome light. What I really like, and I'm getting on a tangent here, all these knobs that you can turn, they're coded and sized to work really well in VR. Like I have a HOTAS that I use, but I still like clicking the buttons and everything with my VR sticks. So we got the central console here, and we can toggle between. Right now it's in radio or CNS mode. We have the engine page, and it shows us our throttle. Our engines currently are shut off, and they are currently thrusting down. And then we have our fuel page. We've got a primary fuel tank up here, then we've got an auxiliary fuel tank in the rear. I believe this may be like the electronics panel or electronics counter warfare panel. That's what I would assume it is, and that's off. We can't use that. We got our wing light, taxi light, strobe, and beacon. But I'm gonna off. And then, of course, this knob is our dome light. Down here underneath that, we have our autopilot panel. It is, if you're flying this not VR, even in VR, it's kind of actually hard to see this upper row. But you got our autopilot disconnect, or this is the power switch for it. And then your vertical speed, toggle vertical speed on, and then increase or decrease vertical speed. Your bank limit, auto throttle, your heading select, and your altitude hold. And then here you have your heading select knob, your selected altitude knob, your speed, selected your auto speed hold, whatever you want to call it, and then your bank limit. You go back to the CNS. You can actually click inside these little boxes right here. You can click. You might have to click with the mouse, but you can click in there, and then you can click on these keypad down here to type into that. And then this is your knob for your panel lights to increase that. Your PDF, your PFD, MFD, and PFD display brightnesses here and here. None of these switches, as far as I can tell, do anything over here in the co-pilot seat. Now we have a CD drive here, well, it's some sort of data card reader. We have another reader here, and it has two buttons, one right here and one right there. That's a cool Easter egg. When you get this aircraft, take a look at yourself. One of the things that I do have to complain about, we have this nice big canopy, and it's great. You can see if there's things above you, you can see in front of you. You absolutely cannot see to the right or the left. So when you're flying around, you kind of have to lean like this to more see what's going on over there, or even like, I guess you could stand up to look out that window. I have not, and I don't know if maybe I'm just doing something wrong, I have not been able to get this aircraft to ground taxi. I've only been able to fly it, like, to move it in the air. So I will taxi hover at like 10 feet off the ground, which this GND, that's how high off the ground you are. We're 9 feet off the ground because the landing gear is out. One of the things that was really cool, and I can't really show everything just because of limitations, but we can actually get up. Oh, this is one of the things, if you are a VR player, you're going to love this. Oh, and my FPS is probably tanking because I can see it doing that. But you can actually walk around the cockpit a little bit. You can see we would have some racks here for gun storage. This particular model of the Pelican is post-Covenant War. So this would be after Halo 3. This would be a Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite variant of the Covenant of the Pelican. We got some additional display panels back here, and engineering panels, fuses and whatnot. That leads me to believe that this one may actually be fitted with a subspace drive. I could be wrong. I haven't really read up too much on my Halo lore. This keypad here, you don't have to worry about typing in any individual buttons. It's all just one big button, but if you click it, you get to this little living quarters. Now, I can't walk any further because of the limitations of my room. I'm actually hitting my couch right now. But we have an additional engineering panel here, a display of some sort. This is like a food prep station. This is probably like a shower, bathroom setup here, and then you got some storage space here. I would wager that there's a door right here. I bet that folds down into a cot of some sort. But you got a little bit of a living space here. And you got one more door we can open up. And then back there, if I really wish I could walk back there. We have a really nicely detailed cargo bay with the cargo hatch open right now. Man, in fact, actually, I can sort of walk back there. What I gotta do is walk back over here to my computer. I guess if I... Oh yeah, I can do this. Okay, so now we're kind of... I would assume this is the crew quarters. Because the Pelican, it might be flying for a long time. And this could also be sealed, so that's shut, so you have basically an airlock. We've got a first aid station there, probably some sort of storage closet, supplies, all kinds of little things. Little food prep station, so you could heat up an MRE. Probably some overhead service panels here. What I'm doing is I'm manually moving my camera position with the mouse, or not mouse, the arrow keys to kind of get the center position as if I was sitting in the pilot's seat somewhere else. So I'm going to move it as far back as I can. Okay, so now we're back here in the cargo bay troop transport. This particular one looks like it's configured to carry some Marines. We got, 12 seats? Yeah, 12 seats. No, 10 seats. Sorry, I can count. So, soldier or whatever can be strapped in right there. They got some cargo space up there, additional cargo space there. We have a fire extinguisher, obviously our door panel, and then some sort of, probably a communication panel to talk to the pilot, because, this may be in vacuum. These may be Spartans getting ready to go out, and they've popped this hatch, and they need to be able to communicate to the guys in there. This is a view I've always wanted to be able to see in a Halo game, and it's awesome that we can sort of do it, at least in Flight Simulator. Love we got this loadout decal right here, and it shows a Pelican carrying a Scorpion, a Pelican carrying a Warthog, and then probably some sort of cargo container that can be strapped right there. Of course, we got the deck right there. We got a heavy-duty hoist. Although this hoist, this hoist doesn't really make sense to me, okay? So this obviously can roll on this rail, but only as far as here. But you may have something heavy out there. So you have to lift it up this I guess you could pull this cable out and down and drag something up and in, but then we got some storage panels here, probably additional food for long-term missions, mechanical access to get to some of the subcompartments. I'm walking in VR, but I don't have any of my normal VR setup for this, for room scale. I'm set up for room for sitting. We got an emergency exit for. Like I said, I'm not set up for room scale VR right now. I'm set up for sitting and playing flight sim, so I have chairs and tables and stuff that I can't see. I'm really digging this, and here's the thing. Here's a really cool thing. This entire model, this entire aircraft, if you have Flight Simulator right now, it is on sale for the low price of free. That's right, you don't have to pay for it. That's awesome. And I would love to see more. And I get that there are purists out there, but let me say this. I would love to see more fictional sci-fi aircraft like this come to the mainstream version of the game. I know there's a lot of third-party sites out there that you can download all kinds of stuff for free and whatever. But I think this is really cool. It allows you to get allows me as a player, you as a player, to get kind of a better sense of just the scale and size and of these kinds of things. And I flew this and landed it in my backyard. Actually, I landed it in the street in front of my house, and then I landed it at my work, and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome, cool." I do get that there are the flight sim purists out there who they only want to see actual aircraft, and that is 100% okay. If you're one of those people who you want to only see actual aircraft, that's fine. Nothing against you. But I do personally feel that this kind of thing is something that, at least this, bring me more Halo spacecraft, Let me fly a Hornet. Let me fly a Wasp. Let me fly a Banshee. I think that'd be great. Anyway, I downloaded this and I'm super like excited about it. And I'm testing out some different graphics settings. And I'm not well. Part of the problem is I'm recording, and the recording doesn't like it when I'm doing this. Oh, can I do this? Can I? Oh well, close enough. At least I sort of look like I'm sitting in this seat. Anyways, I'm gonna stop this recording and see how it turned out, and whatever. As soon as I can get to my mouse pointer to actually go where I want it to go. All right, thanks for watching.